Ladies and gentlemen, boys and ghouls, it's time for Below Grade Level. Listener beware, you're in for a scare.
Welcome back to Below Grade Level, the show where we take the books that we loved as children and we read them as adults and ruin them. On this episode of Below Grade Level, we are continuing to read Party Games, a Fear Street book by R.L. Stine. Last time on Party Games, our protagonist Rachel, who was invited to a birthday party by Brendan Fear to his house, his mansion on Fear Island. Last time, basically, Rachel and her friends got to the island and started partying. I think that was basically all that happened last time. They are at Fear Island now, and they are partying and drinking beer and eating pizza and just being teenagers. But I bet some shit's gonna start to go down. So let's find out what goes on. On this episode of Below Grade Level, we will be reading chapters 12 through 17 of Fear Street Party Games, and my guests are Bekah Eaton, Chris Zaleski, Daine Birch, and Mary Ford. So, what's going to happen to Rachel? Is some spooky stuff going to happen? Or are they just going to keep partying? When are those party games going to come up, right? Yeah. I don't know. Let's find out. Take it away, us.
Chapter 12, Ghost Stories. The dance music was still pumping when I returned to the party room. Oh, I should have put on dance music. Electro. I saw Eric dancing with April. He was going berserk, jerking his body around like a spastic robot, just dry humping the shit out of her. And she was standing there watching him, her hand to his cock, obviously embarrassed. Eric, of course, cannot be embarrassed, because he's a sexual predator. April is shy and quiet. Eric isn't her type at all. I wondered how he was able to drag her onto the dance floor. He probably did drag her, like a sexual predator.
He probably drugged her.
Morgan and Kenny, Brendan's cousins, were slouched
not Bill Cosby.
in a corner. Oh, God.
Topical.
Were slouched in a corner by themselves in their matching Benson school sweatshirts, beer glasses in their
Cosby's
hands.
side.
I felt bad.
No.
They didn't know anyone
It's
here,
Vegas.
and they seemed totally uncomfortable. Morgan kept glancing at his phone,
Great
then
sweaters,
shoving
though.
it back in his pocket. Maybe Brendan wasn't kidding about them. Maybe they really were antisocial. What did they sound like? I can't remember. We did voice like the one of them's like we decided the one was retarded.
One was retarded,
Yeah.
the one that was Kenny, and then the other one. I'm
glad we have
was
Dane
like
here.
Thurston Howard, sort of a thing.
Who?
The one was like, oh, well, we did this.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And the other one was like, yeah.
So yeah, Morgan is the crappy one,
Thanks, Becca.
and carries the dumb
Yeah.
one.
Dumb one.
Dumb one.
I'm over here.
Yeah, you're over here.
I searched for Brendan. I was desperate to tell him about Randy's cries for help and the two servers who had no intentions of helping him.
Black servers.
Why they gotta be black? Oh, because they are. 'Cause every server at this party is black. They named two, but let's face it.
Didn't you listen to the last episode?
No, I did.
We were very
I did.
clear.
You were clear. I just choose to believe.
I'm pretty sure it was just that they said everyone was dressed in black, and anyone dressed in black, we just said they were black.
Yeah, I mean, come on,
think
let's
that's what
face
it
it.
was.
I mean, you got already two black servers. You're not gonna have a Milano and Indian server. They're all gonna be black, living on Fair Island. Yeah, they kidnapped them.
They
all.
gotta have someone die first.
Fucking racial program. Anyway, before I gave him my soapbox even more, but I didn't have a chance. The music cut off abruptly. And Brendan stood at the front of the room, waving his arms above his head to get everyone's attention. Hey guys, I'm gay.
You've met my
Faithful handyman.
Rocky.
Brad and Janet.
Now, Dane, as a listener, did you think it was as funny as we thought it was that we switched his voice to Frankenfurter?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Guys,
Yes,
we
I
had
did.
a really great time with it.
That was amazing.
Yes, I did. And I really want to watch Rocky Horror.
Oh, God.
It took a while for everyone to get quiet. because there was humping and beer and
dry humping.
lots and lots of food. People were passing gas everywhere. Too many carbs. Someone. I made myself laugh. Let's not do that. Someone had spilled a plate of macaroni and cheese. See, carbs everywhere on the floor, and the waiter stooped to clean it up. Yeah, because he was black. Eric was still doing his insane dance moves, even though the music had stopped. So nerdy. Can we just name him Brandon?
Oh, I wish we had
We
thought
love
of
you,
that.
Brandon. It was a little bit funny, but he wasn't impressing April O'Neil. She had already creeped away from him, shaking her head, her hands balled in tight fists, wishing Leonardo was there to hold her. He was so clueless, he didn't realize she had left. I can't remember his voice.
Which one?
Rocky.
Oh, Brandon?
Yeah. I want to start. I can't do it. Brendan said, get things rolling.
An easy technique to talk like him is imagine you just ate a fun-size Hershey bar and you're not done chewing it. So just imagine you have chocolate in your mouth like, yes.
We have to talk about this problem
interesting.
later. Chris, we have to talk about this problem later. We'll get to it in the special podcast.
I just have
talk
some
about Chris's
hard
problems.
candy in my mouth.
We'll do a special podcast that starts off with a soft piano.
Yeah.
We brought Chris here today to talk about a problem that we're having.
What is my problem?
I don't know.
Oh.
That would be the special episode.
Yeah.
An invention episode.
We'll figure it out.
We're intervening. We don't know what for. We just know you're deep.
I'm pretty sure there's something that you're doing that you need
I'm
to stop
sure
doing.
we all can make a list. That was the one good thing about How I Met Your Mother. They really get good points in inventions.
Chris, I wrote you a letter. We used to be friends.
Which was a bad move on my part because this is an intervention about how you're illiterate.
I'll read it to you.
This is why we saw the book early, because we can never get through anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to start, Brendan said. Get things rolling. We gathered in a tight group in front of him, all waiting for his
we
cock to
did.
come out. Only his cousins held back, because they already saw it already. Mummering... Becca, you're not supposed to laugh.
Sorry. That's funny.
No, thank you. Mummering to themselves, not smiling, because, they got their stick up their ass. Brendan rubbed his hands together and flashed us a mad scientist's gleeful grin. My devious mind has a lot of ideas for tonight, he said. I planned some awesome games.
Oh, shit.
I don't say awesome that much, either. Stop him! He's crazy fear, Eric shouted. We're all gonna die. Is this the Yoko guy?
Yeah.
Stop him! He's crazy fear, Eric shouted. We're all gonna die! Because it's all in caps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god, he's gonna die
I laughed,
first.
and so did a few other kids. Just a few. Brendan rolled his eyes. Why do I put up with this guy? Why do I put up with you? Because I'm awesome, dude. Totally awesome. Cowabunga. No, Brandon said. That's not it. Because you feel sorry for him? Spiderweb shouted.
You're going on to my page, man.
He got caught up. He got caught up in the story.
So I'm gonna read some of your page.
Chris is going back.
Why do I put up with you? Because I'm an awesome dude, Eric answered. No, Brendan said. That's not it. Because you feel sorry for him? Spiderweb shouted. I forget his voice.
I feel like we all should have bought this book so we all could just chip in the different voices.
Yes.
You wanna buy it? Go
Brendan
for
said.
I will.
You got it. He waited for everyone to stop laughing. Eric laughed too. Eric is obnoxious, but there's something lovable about him too. It's too,
Is there?
You just
There
ended
really
two
is.
sentences.
Is there, though?
I'd
took
always
his bow
wondered
and
if it was
stopped.
possible to have a serious conversation with Eric. I'd never seen him be serious, even in school. Especially in school.
It's almost like it's impossible that he's getting through life like this.
Watch him be the one that saves the day.
Oh, he's gonna die first. I'm telling you, he's gonna die
hope
first.
And like she ends up loving him because the whole time she's been flirting with him this whole book.
Yeah,
God damn it,
sends a
Rachel.
real weird message.
We're going to start with a real old game from back in the day. Brendan announced. Later, I'm going to tell you about a game I've been developing. I've been working hard on
Called
it.
the Cones of
And I think
Dunshire.
it's way cool. A waiter walked down the line of kids
A black
with a
waiter?
tray of beer glasses.
I hate you all so much. At least it's not Jamaican.
We're not racist. The fears are racist. Okay?
Just you, Chris.
We didn't hire
It's
them.
I didn't write this book.
Are you sure?
R.L. Stine's racist.
Whoa, we love you.
Racist loser Stine. You know, it's just...
What?
But,
Racist loser Stine.
That sounds like a Frankenstein shitty cousin.
It does. It does.
Like
Racist loser Stine.
Frankenstein's like unemployed redneck cousin.
We do want him in the podcast, right?
Yeah, I want him on the podcast. I've got
never
so many
gonna happen.
questions for him. Like, how did he learn about how teenagers dress?
Yeah.
Because
And how teenagers talk.
he describes what they're wearing so often.
Brendan took a glass off the tray and drank half of it down. The
Yup.
first game is old, he said, licking his lips.
Ew. Ugh.
Oh, it's even worse.
Like it goes back to the 19th century. A scavenger hunt.
Because he's a vampire.
A few kids groaned. I thought we were gonna play spin the bottle, Eric said, because it's from another time.
This kid is so horny all the time.
I just want to put my dick in something.
Yes, you should let Eric play spin the bottle, Carrie shouted to Brendan. It's the only way he'll ever get a girl to kiss him.
It's not Brendan.
I don't remember.
Carrie's the
More laughter.
retarded one.
More laughter! Not funny, Eric muttered. Brendan waved everyone quiet. I know. You all probably think a scavenger hunt is a game for kids. But
But not in this old house. Once you leave this ballroom, you're in a different world. You'll find miles of dark, twisting hallways on all the floors. I get to describe the house again.
Oh boy!
Some
of
of-
course.
Some of
What
the
did I
rooms,
tell you?
Every time.
What did I
Every
tell
fucking
you?
time.
some of the
tried.
rooms haven't been open for years. Some of the rooms have mysterious objects, masks, figures, weird things we can't even recognize.
Sex dungeons.
My ancestors were strange, everyone knows that, and over the years their interests and hobbies caused them to collect many things most people have never seen. Maybe there are things you won't want to see.
Like dildos.
Ooh, Carrie did a ghost-like howl. Call the ghost hunters.
Ugh. Topical.
Brendan is trying to scare us. Next he'll tell us the house is haunted, Patty said. The house is haunted, Brendan said. Is anyone else picturing Brendan Durr, but like really gothy
Yes,
this whole time?
the whole
Just
time.
picturing
The
like
whole time.
gothy
The entire
Brendan
time,
Durr. Okay,
yeah.
good. There's a charger either on the table or under the table. A power strip.
Oh, it's right. Well, you can't use this one.
Oh. Then never mind, because that's what I was talking about.
There's one in the kitchen. Back.
On the microwave.
Yeah.
the fourth wall.
We'll edit that out. Just kidding. John's not gonna
I'm
do
not
that.
gonna edit any of this.
You never do.
Oh God. Okay. The house is haunted, Brendan said. Do you really think an old mansion like this doesn't have its ghosts? My dad said when he was a teenager, he took his girlfriend up to the attic and fucked her, and they both saw a ghost. The room suddenly turned cold as ice, and he and his girlfriend saw someone in the doorway. It was a young woman in a long, old-fashioned dress, like from the 1800s. She was all silver, glowing in a silvery light. In the silverness. Like it was shining out of her. It was so silver and bright, my dad said he had to look
It
away.
was silver as fuck.
And when he turned back, she was gone. Dad said he was badly shaken. It was too bold and too real. He never went up to the attic again. Silence for a moment.
Then Eric murmured, "Good one, Brandon." That got a pretty big laugh from everyone. Eric.
Because it was really
Brendan said.
hilarious.
Oh.
Oh, thank you.
Maybe you'd like to start in the attic. Eric stuck his chin out. Dare me? Do you? Dare me to start in the attic? Your dad's fake ghost story doesn't scare me, dude. Brendan frowned at him. Fake ghost story? Eric, you know my father, Oliver Fear.
Oliver Fear?
Oliver Fear.
Creepy Christopher Walken.
That most
I know, it's-
serious man
Slipping into Christopher Walken.
on earth. I don't think he has ever cracked a
Christopher
joke.
Walken now.
Guys, shut up. I'm trying to not go full walk.
Never go for a walk.
Walken.
He'll live it walking.
I don't even think he ever laughed at a joke. And believe me, he never made up a story in his life. If I say he saw a ghost in the attic... We're all shivering and shaking, Eric said. He did a wild shimmy, shivering and shaking his whole body. Eric, I'll come with you, Delia Rogers spoke up. To the attic. I'm desperate to see a ghost.
Or a dick.
Eric's eyes went wide. Seriously? Delia never paid any attention to him before. She tugged at a strand of her white blonde hair. I watch Ghost Hunters every week and finger myself.
Do that guy.
Which one?
Oh, Ghost Hunters.
Oh, Ghost Hunters. Zach Bagans?
Yeah.
We're in this abandoned mental hospital because there are reports that a disembodied female voice is up. Whoa, dude, bro, did you hear that? That's Zach Bagans.
It looks like a bunch of Jersey Shore bros.
He's wearing a shirt that is 2 sizes too small for him.
Super tight.
So that you can see his
T-shirt.
fucking biceps. And then he walks into houses and like just abandoned hospitals and he's like, is there anyone there? He's so fucking stupid. Sorry. What was I talking about? I watch Ghost Hunters every week, she said. It's my favorite show to masturbate to. Maybe you'll see ghosts on your scavenger hunt, Brendan said. This is the Fear family, after all. I know you all know the stories. We're evil. Speak for yourself, Morgan chimed in, trying to do a different voice. Brendan is the most evil, Cousin Kenny said.
Brendan's King Candy now.
Yeah.
Salmon. No one gets salmon.
Yeah, Brendan ignored them. He held up a white envelope and walked through a gate.
You all given these envelopes at the door. Take them out now. This is your list of things you need to find for your scavenger hunt. I tore open my envelope, gazed down the list of objects. A bird skeleton, a jar of silver bullets, a mummy's finger, a black flower, a stuffed rabbit, a live tarantula.
Tarantula.
Cilantro? Sarantulator.
A live tarantula. I hate you all.
Sarantulator.
Raven feathers.
Eye of Newt.
A silver urn filled with ashes.
Oh, come on.
Totally weird. You have to do a lot of exploring, Brendan said over the muttered conversations around the room. The objects you need to find have been hidden all over the house.
Wait, so does like everyone have the same? Are there like 10 silver urns and 10
Yeah.
No,
like,
everyone.
bird skeletons?
They have different
They have
lists.
different
Yeah.
lists. All right,
It's a big house.
Yeah, it's a big house, and there's a lot of weird
rich and
shit in
white.
it.
It is the Fear family, after all.
Yes, quite.
Rocky.
Every time. Every fucking time.
Rocky. The
Rocky.
objects you need to find have been hidden all over the house, and I have to apologize that a lot of the rooms and halls are dark. This is a summer house, and some of the generators have been turned off. Really? Have they been? You have enough money.
Yeah.
Of course, finding things in the dark is more fun.
Ooh.
Right?
Like
Oh,
my
God.
dick.
Flashlights on their iPhones. They'll be
Oh,
fine.
yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
have
They can
iPhones. I
handle
don't
it.
know the way they dress, and we're not sure what year this is. Do you really have a mummy's finger in this house? April asked. Brendan nodded. Doesn't every house have a mummy finger? I mean, I have one.
I mean, women get lonely.
Mummy, is that what they call their dildos? Mummy
Women or
fingers?
just you, Chris?
What?
Maybe they're Halloween themed ones.
Oh my god, let's start a line of Halloween themed dildos. Mummy finger.
I don't know, but I'm buying
Frankenweenie.
all of you girls.
Frankenweenie! Ah,
That's a good one.
Scarecock.
Good job.
Haircut.
Hey, how come Gina's name is at the bottom of my list? Eric demanded. You mean I have to find Gina? What was Gina's voice? I don't
Who's
I don't
remember.
know
Gina?
if she had one.
Yeah, that's
By the way,
that
I stopped doing voices.
One of the
remember.
like
I'm
15
on Team
characters
Bekah.
they introduced at the same time.
Yeah.
Eric, you're at the
I'm on
bottom
Team
of
Bekah,
my
no more
list,
voices.
Gina
No
said,
more
waving
voices.
her piece of paper in front of him. That's because you're partners, Brendan said. We're going to divide into twos. Your partner's name is at the bottom of the page.
Do you think Rachel's partnered up with Brendan?
Probably.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
Let's find out.
Yeah, come on.
You mean I have to go to a
I
dark
think it
room
would be
with
a little
Eric?
bit cheating. If
Gina cried.
Yeah, seriously.
Patty pointed to Spider at the end of the line of kids. I guess she and Spider were going to be partners. Could she stand to be separated from Carrie for an hour or more? Hey, Kenny and I are partners, Cousin Morgan said, because I don't remember the voice and I never will.
Like a preppy.
That's just it. My preppy voice is really similar to my Frankenfurter
Yeah, I
voice.
know. I realized that when I was doing it.
No one else could stand to be with you, Brendan said. I can't stand to be with him either, Kenny said. They gave each other playful shoves.
Ew.
Oh, they're fucking.
Yay.
Call
Your
it
cousins
fucking
are
cousins.
cute, Delia said to Brendan. If you shut your eyes.
No, Delia, she's a slut. Do a slut voice.
Oh. Your cousins are cute. Delia said
No,
to
more
Brendan.
like Lindsay Plotz.
Do like a sultry like phone sex voice.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, more like Lindsay Plotz. I just said that. Come on,
Yeah,
Jonathan, keep
I don't
up.
know how good this is gonna be.
I believe in you.
Your cousins are cute.
Yeah!
There
Delia
you go.
Good
Just like
job.
Lindsay Plotz.
Delia
Just like
said to
Lindsay
Brendan,
Plotz.
if you shut your eyes.
Lindsay Plotz, I'm seeing you right now.
Bert.
Lindsay, is that
Welcome
you?
to the
Laughter,
podcast.
laughter all around. I raised my list and gazed at the name at the bottom of the page. You guys.
Yeah.
It's you aren't gonna believe this.
Oh my God,
No
who is it?
spoilers.
Brendan.
Oh shit!
Brendan wanted me to be his partner. Whoosh.
That was the sound of
Goosh.
yeah, sploosh.
No, it's sploosh.
Just gonna say.
I like to say goosh.
Sploosh. I knew this was an awesome party.
And now I have to
didn't
change
make
my
that up.
panties.
Eric bumped up next to me. Rachel, who's your partner? Want to trade with Gina? Gina doesn't like me. You and I?
I don't think so. I said, Brendan is my partner. Eric's eyes went wide. He shouted, "Hey, Brendan, no fair. You can't be in the game. You know it where everything is hidden."
I'm totally gay for you.
No, I don't, Brendan said. I didn't hide the objects. Some of the workers hid everything before you all arrived.
Black workers.
I'm like you. I'm
Killing me
clueless.
here, Jonathan.
Really, I don't know where anything is. Some kids grumbled about that. Brendan, who's your partner? Spider called. Rachel. Brendan said.
Rachel?
The world's worst.
Rachel!
That was your boyfriend.
Stop doing that.
Ooh, Brendan, are you gonna take Rachel up to the attic? Delia said. That got
Rachel.
a pretty good laugh. I could feel myself blushing. No, I'm taking Brendan to the attic. Feminism! I said. It was
Oh, tell it, sister.
Burning bras.
it was a lame joke, but it made Brendan
Just like
smile.
a woman would make.
Women aren't funny.
Oh yeah, no, they can't be.
No.
And they can't drive.
No. Or vote.
Chris, stop doing the Dane's voice. It's awful.
Chris, stop making Dane say all these horrible things.
I'm
I'm a man, not a puppet.
Get your hand out of his ass. Okay, partner up, guys. We'll meet back here in 2 hours, Brendan said. 2 whole fucking hours?
Party sounds shitty.
Well,
Yeah.
that house is huge, and that list is insane.
Well, they're all in like a food coma right
There's
now.
so much
of
drinking
this
book to
beer,
go
or
through.
maybe I'm just old, but I'd want a nap. The team
we
that
are
col-
almost 30.
We are old.
This is
Hey,
not the
try
target
being 34,
demographic.
okay? I want a nap right now.
The team that collects the most items wins. If anyone gets lost, just scream for help. Ah! Probably no one will hear you, but it'll make you feel better.
It usually does
That's
for me.
what the book said.
Oh wow.
He started toward me, but Carrie Handakis stepped in his way. Brendan, a live tarantula, Carrie said, waving his list. How are Delia and I supposed to bring it back here? In our hands?
Yeah.
It's just a baby, Brendan said, in a glass cage. Eric and Gina Davis were huddled together. Now I remember who Gina is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going over their list. The stuff is hidden on all the floors, Gina Davis asked. She's got like a southern overbitey voice.
Oh God.
The stuff's hidden on all the floors.
I can't do that.
She makes those noises in Beetlejuice.
Everywhere but the basement, Brendan said. The basement is filled with summer stuff, so
My experiments.
so we can't use it.
Stay out of the basement like the last book.
Oh, wait,
callback.
but
Callback.
before we start, Brendan, can I ask you a question? April O'Neil said. All eyes turned toward her. She held her scavenger hunt list in one hand. Do you have dead squirrels on this list? Brendan squinted at her. Excuse me? Dead squirrels? Amy repeated. Because I had one at home, a dead squirrel in my bed. Was that part of your game? Brendan's mouth had dropped open.
Trickery, April. Very clever.
I don't know what you're talking about, April. Why would there be a dead squirrel? I had a dead raccoon, Gina Davis said. Me too, Patty cried before I had a chance to chime in. Did everyone coming to this party get a dead animal? April demanded. Brendan was blinking rapidly, his face all tight as if he was struggling to understand a common thing that someone said. No, I didn't get a dead animal, Carrie said. Neither did I, Eric and Spider said in unison. I don't know anything about this, Brendan said finally. I can't believe it. Really? Do you think someone was trying to ruin my party? I mean, someone wanted you to blame me for putting them there? Are you telling us the truth? Patty demanded.
Oh, Patty. She's so fragile.
Of course I didn't do it, Brendan replied. No way, that's horrible. Where would I get dead animals? I mean, the dead animal store, everyone knows that. Do you think I collect them or something? Yes.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah, you're a vampire.
You just gave everyone a scavenger hunt sheet with like mummy's fingers on it. Like,
Yeah, obviously you collect dead animals.
You don't get to be shot.
You're
a vampire.
You had me at the last name Fear. Come on.
Yeah.
What, do you think I'm scary?
Yeah. How would I get them in your houses? Everyone started talking at once.
Henchman.
Why would I do that? Brendan shouted over the voices. Why would I do a thing like that right before my party? I can't believe someone did that to you. Then as his expression changed, he seemed to freeze. His eyes went wide, and he made a gurgling sound.
I love that everyone was cool with, like, drinking his beer and eating all his food before they brought this up.
Yeah.
Brendan, you okay? I called. Are you choking? Oh my God, he murmured. It can't be. It can't be. The room grew quiet again. Brendan's hands were shaking. He grabbed the edge of the food table to steady himself. Great Aunt Victoria? Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, man.
He said, his voice cracking. We drew closer. I could barely hear him. Did I ever tell you of my...
Dave gave up.
I got this, okay?
It's gotta be a solid plot point.
Are you
I
having a
have full
stroke?
faith in him.
I didn't know the plot was gonna go this way. I should have.
Yeah.
It's just like a soap opera.
You can do it.
Okay, I can
I
do
believe
this.
you.
Did I ever tell any of you about my father's great Aunt Victoria? No one replied. Because no one knew about her.
You dumb bitch.
Eric flashed me a look like, what's up with Brendan? You're his best friend. Why are you looking at me? Brendan picked up a bottle of water, took a long swallow. Sorry, correct myself. Brendan picked up a bottle of vodka and took a long swallow. Then he turned back to us. No, he drinks brandy. Come on, he's rich.
Yeah.
I thought he
Brendan,
drank blood.
Oh, he's a vampire.
well, brandy could be...
Brendan
Brendan picked up a bottle of
Clamato.
wine.
Clamato.
That is disgusting. I would never say that out of my mouth. It's clams and...
Oh, I know.
it's-
Guys, I know.
Yeah. Yo, really, you brought it up, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Don't make that sick face.
Oh,
Jonathan.
I know.
Brandon picked up a bottle of wine, took a long swallow, then he turned back to us. My dad told us a story. You see, Victoria Fair inherited this house a long time ago. I don't know exactly when. Dad said she touched herself at night. She was a very weird person. She didn't like other
People. How do I get like the best time and shit?
Oh, God damn it.
She didn't get along with anyone. She lived here alone for many years. Brendan finished the water in the bottle and tossed the bottle to the floor. The wine in the bottle with the clamato and the ejaculate.
Yeah.
And the,
Yeah.
Victoria had only one thing in life that she enjoyed. It was taxidermy. You know, stuffing animals after they died. She collected hundreds of animals. No exaggeration, hundreds. And she spent all her time in a taxidermy room. stuffing animals, putting them back together, mounting them, and...
Mounting them.
Hey.
What does this have to do with what happened to us? April interrupted.
I don't understand.
I'm getting to it, Brendan replied. This is the weird part.
So the other stuff wasn't weird. Okay. Gotcha.
Sometimes other members of the Fear family would come to the house to visit. This was supposed to be a summer house for the whole family.
Yeah, we know.
But Victoria never wanted to share it with anyone, and many times, my dad told me, visitors would find a dead animal under the sheets of their bed. It was crazy Victoria's way of telling them they weren't welcome. April opened her mouth to say something, but stopped. No one spoke. Brendan tapped his hand tensely against the tabletop. You probably don't believe in ghosts, he said. But if you were a member of my family, you would believe. And I know it's totally insane, but I really think... Eric spoke up. You think the ghost of Victoria Fear...
Put dead animals in their beds to tell us to stay away from this house. Do you also believe that fairies and elves have a midnight dance in the woods under the full moon?
Yeah.
You queer.
They don't? Wait, they don't?
No, guys. Believe. Just believe. Brendan
Thank you.
shrugged. I know what it sounds like, but you have to remember about my family, about this house. I know I don't mention it a lot. My family and my house are evil.
Wait, is that what
No,
it says?
it's just that they've mentioned it so many times.
Oh, yeah.
Give us a break, Brendan, Gina Davis said, shaking her head. You put the roadkill in our beds, so we'd all be scared and get in the mood for your scary party. No way, Brendan cried. That's sick. I wouldn't do anything like that. How could I? When? When could I do it?
How?
I was at the Tigers game. Isn't that right, Carrie? You saw me at the game, right? Carrie nodded. Yeah, I saw you there, about halfway up the bleachers. I just want to have a fun party, Brendan said. I don't want to scare anyone. You don't have to believe in ghosts, but you have to believe me. I didn't do it. Maybe someone else was out to scare you, someone who didn't want you to come to Fear Island. He paused for a moment. Just let me tell you the rest of the story, he said finally.
Jesus, he's not
No
done.
one knows how or when Victoria Fear died. But my dad said that one summer, probably in the 1920s, a distant relative named Dennis Fear came to this house to see Victoria. You know, extended family
Isn't all
sometimes
names.
have different last names.
Yeah.
Not this one.
Sometimes.
I guess
We're very
there
close.
must be a lot of inbreeding.
Yeah.
Fucking Lannister.
So Dennis Fear came to the house.
Lancasters.
I don't know. I've been drinking.
No one answered the door.
Jack Daniels.
He stepped inside and found room after room cluttered with stuffed animals. Real animals. Oh my god, I just read ahead and it's so cool.
What?
Spoilers.
Don't look at the end.
He searched the house for Victoria, and in a bedroom upstairs he found her. She was standing in front of a fireplace, eyes glowing. He called to her, but she didn't move. Dennis Fear walked over to her and discovered the most horrifying thing he'd ever seen in his lifetime. Victoria.
So great.
John's in shock.
So good.
Guys, holy shit.
Hold on to your butts.
Victoria had been stuffed. The job was perfect. She looked totally lifelike. Dennis couldn't believe it. His eyes moved from her face down to her bosom. And then he saw the long needle in her hand. And he started to scream because he realized that Victoria Fear had stuffed herself.
Are you serious? It's a good thing I held on to my butt.
I know, right? Oh my god, guys. Chapter 13 is
That
called...
was capital N italic.
Yeah,
you
but-
should have been
sorry.
screaming
But,
that.
okay, let me read it again. And he started to scream because he realized that Victoria Fear had stuffed herself!
Dun, dun, dun.
Is that better?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was great.
the
we're
name...
not done.
No. There was only one chapter. I want to find out.
Oh, now it's getting good.
This chapter title.
Chapter 13, guys.
I want to read it.
It's called...
Can I read the chapter title?
Yeah.
Worry much?
Chapter 13. Called Worry Much. Worry Much?
Wait, is it my turn?
No, I only had half a page last time. Let me read it, Daine. Jesus Christ,
It's your show.
you hog. I lingered behind as teams headed out of the ballroom, holding their scavenger hunt lists, talking mostly about Victoria Fear. Brendan walked over to me. Ready? For sure, I said. So you like to tell ghost stories? He didn't smile. My family has enough of them, he said softly. I narrowed my eyes at him. You didn't make that story up? I didn't have to make them up, he answered. Trust me, let's go. We don't want to give everyone else a head start. I raised the list.
I like how everyone just agrees to just keep going with it.
Like,
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
It's probably your ghost of
just
your
skipped
whatever.
over that.
Totally
Goes
all
around
found dead
your
animals
house,
in our
so-
bed.
Yeah.
He just told a story about dead animals.
Yeah.
He just told a story about a
Probably,
woman
probably
that
she
stuffed
stuffed
herself.
Like, definitely that's
And
a
then we're
thing
gonna
that
go
can
on with
happen.
this.
Yeah.
Perfectly
All-
stuffed herself.
All right,
yeah.
well, I gotta go find this mummy finger. So,
We're gonna continue with the party games.
he raised his right hand. I swear.
White people.
Let's start on the 3rd floor. Why?
That's where my bedroom is.
That's where the sex
Ooh.
dungeon is.
Because it hasn't been used in a lot of years. I've been really horny. And it's filled with rows of empty bedrooms. We can fuck in all of them. Perfect places for hiding stuff. The penis game. He put his hand on my back and led me to the ballroom door.
That's when I come my pants.
Beat me to it, Jonathan, you motherfucker. You Lindsay whore.
He said ballroom door, and I said that's what I call my pants.
Ow.
It'll be pretty dark up there. You're not afraid of the dark, are you? Terrified. I
Different
said.
horror series. Different horror series.
I gazed into his eyes. Why do you keep asking me if I'm scared? Are you trying to get me horny? Too late. He shrugged. No reason.
Baloosh.
I don't scare easy, I said. I do. He smiled. We'll see. He held open a door for me and we stepped out of the ballroom. I could hear kids down the hall laughing, choking. Some chose to start on the first floor. Others were climbing the broad stairway at the front entry hall. We'll take a shortcut, Brendan said. Brendan's such a creepy motherfucker. He led the way down the hall towards the back of the house. This isn't fair, I said. You know the house better than anyone. He grinned. Don't worry about it. Rachel, you want to win, don't you? Wait, sorry, I should correct myself. He grinned. Don't worry about it, Rachel. You want to win, don't you? Pale gray Evelyn light filtered in from a tall, dust-smeared window at the far end. Ugh. What are you talking about? Places. We passed the enormous kitchen with the stacks of dirty plates and cups on a long counter. Warm air floated out from the kitchen, carrying the tangent aroma of pizzas that had been baked there.
They baked all the
scary.
pizza there? It wasn't takeout pizza?
Apparently so.
Jesus.
It was like homemade pizza?
Yeah,
Probably
homemade pizza.
DiGiorno.
Christ.
DiGiorno was so much better.
DiGiorno is so good.
Oh, so good.
Guys.
Let's get a pizza.
I have to tell you something, I said. I was walking down the other hall and I heard something. It was Randy, I'm pretty sure, and he was calling for help. I tried to go see him, but these two workers stopped me and...
Black workers.
Brendan squeezed the back of my
I don't
neck.
think that's getting old.
I think it's only getting funnier.
Because Dane's here.
Brendan squeezed the back of my neck. Weird.
Ew.
A gentle squeeze, but it startled me.
What?
Worry much, he said. That's the title of the chapter. Well,
I learned this from Star Trek.
the workers blocked my path and... Randy is fine, Brendan said. Antonio told me he's totally okay. He'll have a bump on his head, but he will be fine. Come on, follow me. We have a game to win.
Jesus Christ.
I stared hard at him. I wanted to believe him, but how could I be sure that he was telling the truth? We started walking again. The hall made a sharp turn to the right. The carpet ended and our shoes clicked on dark hardwood floors. So atmospheric. Brendan stopped and turned to the wall. I saw a door with a small round window in the center. He pushed a black button on the wall and the door slid open. It actually says black button, Dane. I wasn't being racist.
It's okay. It's not black workers.
An
John.
elevator, I cried. You have an elevator in your house? He nodded and motioned for me to step inside. A small bulb in the ceiling sent a cone of orange light over us. The elevator was tiny. Maybe 3 or 4 people could squeeze in. My grandfather had it put in, Brendan said. In her
last years, my grandmother was in a wheelchair. She couldn't use the stairs, so he would take her up to her room in this elevator. He grinned. Every house should have an elevator, right?
Poor people.
What a dick.
Not mine, I said. It's only 1 floor because we're really poor. He laughed. Well, your elevator could go sideways. Rich people problems.
Not funny.
The door slid closed. He pushed a lever and the car started to rise. It made a loud hum. We moved very slowly. The ceiling light flickered. Brendan kept his eyes on the window. I saw a flash of light as we passed the 2nd floor. He's so cute, I thought. Then, without thinking, I blurted out, how come you invited me to your party? He spun around. I mean, we're in some classes together, I said. But we're not friends. I mean, I was glad, but... Please, let me just swallow my tongue and choke to death on the elevator floor. How stupid am I, you stupid bitch? Brenda didn't seem to notice how embarrassed I was.
That was awesome.
It wasn't the first time I had blurted out what I was thinking. Such a bad habit. I should just keep my mouth shut like a dummy. Sorry, I lost it. I saw you hanging out with Amy a lot, he said. Yeah, she's my best friend, I said. You don't know her very well, do you? He frowned. No, I don't. We've never been in the same classes, and...
I didn't hear the rest of Brendan's sentence. I shrieked as the elevator jolted. The light went out. The car stopped. I blinked into the total darkness. It was so dark, I couldn't see Brendan even though he was right next to me. Stalled,
That's pretty dark.
he said calmly. Stalled between floors. Can you do something? I stammered. It hasn't been used in a long time. I should have tested it. But Brendan, my eyes slowly adjusted to the darkness. I watched him work the control lever back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, in and out. The car didn't budge, but I did. Is there an alarm? I asked. Can we call someone to help us? No alarm. My heart started to pound. I could feel the blood pulsing in my temples. Sometimes I really get claustrophobic. Well, is there enough air to breathe? I said, like an idiot. Probably. But it's already stuffy in here, isn't it? People will notice. They'll miss us. They'll search for us. Eventually, Brendan said. I stood there, silent for a moment, trying to force my heartbeats to slow down. Brendan turned to me. He slid his hands around my waist. Again, I thought he was going to kiss me. Daine, fucking do it.
And he did. Gentle at first. Then with more feeling, his lips moved over mine. He shut his eyes at first. I was hesitant, but then I kissed him back, so intense I didn't want it to end. You whore. Finally, he lifted his head and whispered, that was nice. Zip. My heart was suddenly pounding. I could feel the warmth of his lips on mine. But the elevator, I said finally. He grinned. The elevator's fine. I just wanted to kiss you.
A dick.
Oh, I wish I could be rich so I can just get slutty girls in my house and make out with them. I don't believe you.
No other reason for Daine than making out with slutty girls. Wanting to
I
be
was
rich.
saying what your point is. I mean, making out
What
is
else
awesome.
would you do with it?
What other
know.
point is there to an elevator?
Make out with random chicks. I don't believe you, I cried. But the truth is, I was thrilled, because you're a whore. You scared me nearly death
not a
just for
whore.
a kiss. No, she's not.
Don't
It's a
slut
boy if
shame
she
Daine.
was. No
I'd do
slut
the same
shaming.
thing. He shrugged. Pretty much couldn't help myself, he said. You whore. I struggled to read his expression, half smiling, half studying me. Are we still in the dark?
Yeah.
During this? Okay,
You're in
so
the
we
dark.
adjusted out.
Mhm.
Okay. He turned and shoved the control level. The ceiling lights flickered on and the car jerked, then began to rise again. Rise! I'm so sorry. The Batman voice from before. Scene. I don't think you'd be a good partner if you just want to flirt with me, I tease. Oh my god, you're just reeling him in, aren't you? I'd be a good partner, he said. He squeezed my shoulder.
In bed.
I promise. The door slid open, and I followed
Like my
him
legs.
into the third.
The floor hallway. The air was hot up here, and it smelled like sour. It smelled sour.
Salad?
Like old clothes. Again,
Smells like salad.
sour.
Smells like sex, Jonathan. All right, get it right.
Again, the only light came from the darkening gray sky through a tall window at the end of the hall. I'll try the hall lights, Brendan said. He flipped the switch on the wall, then flipped it several times. No. No lights. The generator must be off. I squinted at him. This is another joke, right? I wish. I gazed down the hall. It seemed to stretch on forever in a straight line with rooms on both sides. You know, like a hallway.
Like a really long hallway.
I couldn't see the end of the hall. Too dark. The floor creaked under the thin carpet as we began to walk toward the first doorway. We were the only ones on this floor. The other guys were still exploring downstairs. I forgot about flashlights, Brendan said. I should have passed them out to
Oh
everyone.
my god, you have pizza and macaroni and cheese and you don't have flashlights?
I heard a fluttering sound down the hall, like curtains flapping in the wind. I followed Brendan into a small bedroom. At least, I thought it was a bedroom from the size. There was no bed or dresser, no furniture at all. Cartons were
Just a
stacked
swing
in
in the
tall
middle.
towers against one wall. You know, cartons, because no one calls them boxes.
Oh
in
my
this
god,
universe.
seriously.
Why is everything cartons?
Some of these rooms haven't been used in years. You know, like he said earlier a
Yeah,
zillion times.
once again.
Brendan said. He tugged the cord of a
Summer house
window
one more
blind
time.
and let some gray evening light wash into the room. Rachel, do you have your list?
Yeah, I pulled it out of my pocket. Brendan was on his knees behind a tower of cartons. Fucking cartons! Check this out. I stepped up behind him and gazed at the object he was holding. A gigantic egg.
What?
It's an ostrich egg, he said. Is it on the list? I raised the paper and gazed down at the list. No ostrich egg. Too bad. He set the big egg down on the floor. He pointed. See if there's anything in that closet. Then meet me in the next room. Do you think that giant ostrich egg is gonna come up again?
I hope not.
I really
See,
don't think we
When
should.
you're doing a scavenger hunt, you don't just walk through and pick up random things and see if those things are on your list. You go and you look for the
He
things
wrote
on your
the
fucking
list.
list.
Yeah.
He wrote
I
wrote
don't
the
think
list.
he wrote the list.
Maybe
Or
someone else has an egg on their list.
He's rich. He doesn't do his own things.
You don't just pick up like, is there a book on the list? I found a book.
There's the floor. The
You
floor on the
usually
list.
look at
Yeah.
the list as a team.
Yeah.
Blah blah. I edged through 2 stacks of boxes and stepped up to the closet. I grabbed the knob, twisted it, and tugged.
Yeah, you did.
The door didn't budge. I tried it again, twisted the knob the other direction, and gave a hard pull. The door flew open. Do you hear all
I
that?
heard
It's
that too.
firemen throwing their trash away.
Lots of rumbles outside.
Oh, I can hear any of it.
It's time for me to go.
It's the fears.
The door flew open. Startled, I stumbled backward. I caught my balance and stared into the closet. Empty. Nothing but Narnia in there. I took a few steps closer. I saw 3 shelves, all empty. The floor was coated with a thick carpet of white dust, probably snow, from Narnia.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing here, I said, then realized Brendan wasn't there, even though he just told me he was going in the other room. I forgot that fast because I'm an idiot. I pushed the closet door shut and stepped out of the room. Brendan? My voice sounded hollow in the long, narrow hallway. I heard the flapping sound again. I squinted into the gray light. Couldn't see anything. I stepped into the room across the hall. Hey, Brendan? No, the room was dark and empty.
Brendan, where are you? I shouted. No reply. I heard the flapping again and a high, shrill, chittering sound. Mice? No. Mice don't flap. It says
Mice don't flap.
don't flap. Guys,
don't.
fucking,
mice flap.
fucking mice don't flap.
He's got
Well,
some giant
bats do.
bat mice in there.
I poked my head into the next room.
Bats chitter and flap.
Brendan, are you here? Silence. In the shadowy light, I could make out a long couch and 2 side tables, a desk against one wall, some kind of office. But no Brendan. Hey, I shouted. Brendan, where are you? I heard the fluttering sound closer now and a shrill ee. And squinting into the blackness, I saw tiny red lights. No, not lights.
Bad eyes.
Tiny red eyes. Oh no, I whispered. A chill of fear tightened the back of my neck.
Or was Brendan's hand?
I stared at the sets of tiny red eyes at the far end of the hall, glowing bright as car taillights, fluttering wings and glowing red eyes.
It was a car.
Once again,
It was a wolf.
there were red eyes and a fluttering noise. Do you understand what I'm saying, guys? It took me so long to realize that they were fucking bats. A huge nest of bats, and I was disturbing them. What was that noise?
Is your phone in there?
Why is your phone giving you directions, Daine?
Daine's phone just started talking to us from the other room, and I'm a little scared about it.
Spooky.
That is pretty spooky.
Why did it do that?
I don't know why Siri was talking.
I heard you talking about me, Daine. A huge nest of bats, and I was disturbing them, invading their territory. I realized I was holding my breath. I let it out in a long, shuddering whoosh. Sploosh. Brendan, there are bats up here. Oh, wait, no. Brendan, there are bats up here. I whispered. Can you hear me? You probably can't because I'm whispering. Silence. Where are you, Brendan? I screamed as I felt a burst of hot air above my head. The bat flew over me before I realized what was happening, and then I covered my face as the fluttering, squealing bats came swooping through the halls, red eyes sparkling with fury. Chapter 14, Hanged. That sounds,
Hanged?
That sounds promising, right? I dropped to my knees, yeah you did, and covered my head with both arms. I could feel the puffs of wind off their wings as they darted over me. A bat bumped my shoulder. I screamed! Bump. It bounced off me and hit the wall, then it scrambled back up into the air. At least a dozen bats flew past. I didn't wait for them to come soaring back. I jumped to my feet and started to run. My shoes kept catching in the ragged, worn carpet. I hurtled through the darkness, my heart pounding, past endless dark rooms. Brendan! Hey, Brendan! I choked his name. Ew. I could hear the chittering of the bats behind me. Were they preparing to swoop at me again? I reached the far wall and stopped. I struggled to catch my breath. Where were the stairs going down? Where were the stairs going down? Shouldn't the stairs be here? I don't fucking know. Historically,
stairs are.
Bekah gets the boring pages, so we'll see if
Yes,
this
I do.
is true.
Yep, there's no.
It's all descriptions.
There's no dialogue.
Bekah
It's all
always
descriptions.
gets the pages that are like the wall sconces hung.
I leaned against the wall and waited for my heart to stop leaping around in my chest. Held my breath and got it together. Yes. I forced back my panic. Rachel, take a deep breath and calm down, I told myself. You can make it back to the elevator. So what if it's dark up here? And what's the big deal about darkness? Ignore the bats. Walk to the elevator and go downstairs. No biggie.
It's a real good pep talk you give
Yep.
yourself there.
Yep. Before Beth went off to college, she and I used to watch the most disgusting horror movies we could find on Netflix every weekend.
Ooh, good.
Netflix. That's what the kids
Netflix.
like these days.
Good.
You just name drop Netflix.
Yeah, I was gonna say good name drop, R.L. Stein.
And Beth was always the one who got scared. Not me. Not me.
Beth's
I'm
her
not
sister.
the scared one. I suddenly remembered the day our parents took us to the Waynesville Zoo.
Mm-hmm.
Funny how things pop up in your mind. You have no control over your memories. Did you know that?
You have
Your memories have control over you.
You have no control over them. At any moment, you could just be hurtled into a memory without your control. Oh God, the zoo!
The zoo!
The zoo!
We were in a house of darkness. A building with oh my god, this exact situation happened to me.
To you in your
Yes,
life?
oh my god, I'm being hurtled back into my own memories.
Oh no, you can't control it.
Oh god, I can't control it. A building with tall glass cases of nocturnal animals. Beth and I pressed up against the glass to see the bats in one case. Suddenly the bats went berserk, flying crazily in all directions. Bats shot into the glass, flapping frantically against it, batting the front cage with their mouse bodies. Pretty sure they have bat bodies. Banging hard again and again, right in our faces.
Yeah, they
as if
were.
trying to
Banging
get at
again.
us.
Oh yeah. Banging hard.
Beth started to shriek. She spread her hands over her eyes and screamed. I had to make her stop.
So
I
I
had to calm her
strangled her.
down. So I took her by the shoulders and shook her and shook her.
What?
No. I led her away from the
okay,
bag.
I got
Seriously,
duped.
I was just telling you the other day about how I was in first grade and we went to the zoo and they have that dark room with all the nocturnal animals and I got scared because it was dark and there's fucking creepy ass blind like
Crazy.
snakes and shit in there and I got scared and then my friend told everyone I was scared and I dreaded going to school. It was the worst day of my life and then I grew up and learned what real problems are. Later she said she was pretending to be in a horror movie like the ones we watched every weekend.
Yeah, nice save, Beth.
Yeah. Here, you're over here.
Everyone knows you're a pussy.
Just like me.
No.
Like the ones we watched every weekend. But I know the truth. I knew she had freaked out, lost it, totally lost it. And I knew I was the grown-up, at least in that situation. I'm the grown-up now. I can handle anything. Took another few seconds to get myself together. I wanted to scream for Brendan again, but I was afraid my shouts would alarm the bats. Make them come swooping back at me.
Scream!
Bat at me. I stared into the darkness to the other end of the hall. I couldn't hear them now. They were silent. But I could see the tiny red dots of their eyes staring back at me. That's creepy. The elevator seemed a mile away. I decided if I walked slowly, carefully, silently, maybe I wouldn't disturb the bats. I forced myself away from the wall and started walking, almost on tiptoe, trying not to make a sound.
Not like your
But-
phone, Mary.
Jesus.
Oh, God, hell. Some asshole I don't like anyway. But the floorboards
David.
beneath the thin carpets... Oh. But the floorboards beneath the thin carpet squeaked with every footstep. I could see the red eyes flash, suddenly alert. The shrill chittering started up again, as if the bats were sounding the alarm.
That's what bats do.
Bats are like little baby... They're adorable. I'm sorry. I stopped. I could see the dark.
What?
Oh, I could see the dark round window
You can see the dark.
of the elevator just a few yards away. If only I could get there and jump inside before the bats decided to attack again. Bats don't attack people. That's what we learned in our Earth Sciences class last year. Bats don't attack people unless provoked.
She likes repeating things to herself.
What did that mean
Because
exactly?
She is schizophrenic, I think.
I think I was provoking them by being in the hall, invading their space. It's not a pit bull. It's a bat.
Yeah, they're small. You can hit it with a tennis racket.
I took a step, then another. I kept my eyes on the elevator door. I forced myself not to look into the bat's eyes. I stopped in front of the door. The window was black. I squinted in the darkness, searching for the button on the wall. My hand shook as I raised it and pushed the button. I thought maybe the elevator was still on this floor and the door would slide open for me, but no, nothing happened.
Where the fuck did Brendan go?
She is all by herself.
He saw bats and he peaced
He's
out.
he's like, I'll kiss you, but if there's bats, fuck you.
Yeah.
I listened for the hum of the car, but I couldn't hear anything over the shrill chirp and whistle of the bats. I pressed the button again and again. Come on, come on! I pushed my face against the glass of the elevator window. I struggled to hear. No, nothing happening. Was the car struck on another floor? Was the elevator turned off?
It was real interesting, Rachel.
I'm trying to make it interesting. The bats' cries grew more shrill. They rang in my ears like a dozen ambulance sirens, all wailing at once. I heard the flap and flutter of their wings again. The back of my neck prickled. I imagined their tiny bat claws hanging on me, digging into my skin. I imagined the sharp bite of their little pointed teeth. No! I slammed my fist against the elevator door. Where are you? I screamed. I was losing it, but I didn't care.
Here.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
that's
just
fine.
kept
No,
reading.
yeah, you got. No, that's fine. You got carried away. That's good.
I did.
We usually will like read a page and then pass it along.
Oh, I didn't know that.
No, it's fine.
I'm
You're
not in
good.
the
You're
loop.
good. You're good. You're good. It's fine. Where are you? I screamed. I was losing it, but I didn't care. You already read that part.
I didn't care.
I spun away, breathing hard. Okay, no elevator. That meant I had to find the stairway. There had to be a stairway down the second floor. Swinging away from the bats, I lurched toward the other end of the hall. Dark doorways whirred past me in a blur. I stopped when I saw a square of dim light spilling onto the carpet from an open doorway. Was someone in there? Was Brendan in there? Brendan?
Brendan.
I started to jog, stepped into the square of light, turned into the doorway, squinting into the gray light, gray as fog, and screamed. Screamed as I saw the body. Oh shit, a boy's body. A boy in a black sweater and gray jeans, hanged, his neck tilted, head slanting at a horrible angle.
Is that Brandon?
I had the boy hanging from a rope that stretched down from a high ceiling rafter.
Is it gonna be the?
Oh no.
Wait, I want to guess, but I can't remember his name.
No, the body swung slowly around, and I stared at Brendan's pale face.
What?
Eyes
Called
frozen
it.
wide
It can't
open.
be him.
Brendan
It can't be
hanged
Brendan.
from the ceiling.
That's fake, Brandon.
That
I
can't be
tried
Brendan.
to look away, but my eyes stopped on something on the floor, a sheet of white paper beneath Brendan's shoes. White paper with writing on it, some kind of a note.
Some kind of a suicide note.
Oh shit, guys. Staggering forward, almost against my will, I moved close enough to gaze down at the carefully printed words on the paper.
Carefully.
And it said, "Anyone up for a game of hangman?"
It's really clever, Brendan. Good job.
Was that like, that's a suicide note? Anyone up for a game of hangman?
And I'm dead.
No, I think he was
Yeah.
murdered.
Oh.
Oh.
Someone hanged him.
He was
No,
murdered.
That's still
He
stupid.
Thanks for
was-
spelling that out for
He
us.
was, he was
Oh,
murdered!
that's a silly game.
Chapter 15.
Silly game. Well, you lost already, Brendan.
Chapter 15. Someone is threatening me.
I got this feeling. Somebody's threatening me.
I stared at the words until they became a blur. And then I uttered a choked cry as hands gripped my shoulders hard from behind. I stumbled off balance as someone pulled me back, forced me to the doorway. We really like sentence fragments in this book.
Mm-hmm.
Hey! I found my voice and cried out. I spun around. Brendan!
What?
Oh, ha! Sorry, I read ahead.
Okay.
Rachel, here you are. I heard you scream, but I couldn't find you. He let go of my shoulders. His dark eyes were wide, his face twisted in a confused frown. Brendan, I thought... He took a step back and stared over my shoulder at the figure swinging from the rope. It's a mannequin.
Oh, come
I stammered.
on!
The light was so weird. It was so hard to see, Brendan. I thought it was you. He didn't reply. I slip into my girl voice sometimes.
That's the best part of the book so far.
He didn't reply. He pushed past me and stepped up to the mannequin. He picked the note up from the floor. I could see his eyes reading it again and again.
Man,
It
I
takes a
thought
really long time to read.
I thought something had finally happened.
It sounds like Brendan doesn't know about this mannequin situation.
That's true. Alright.
Brendan, are you okay? Finally, he turned to me. It looks like me. It's even wearing my clothes. I know, I said, stepping up to him. I thought... He crinkled the note into a ball and tossed it across the room. Who did this? He muttered in a low voice. Who wouldn't do this? Is someone trying to ruin my party? No, who would do this? Is someone trying to ruin my party? I thought she was like, yo, who wouldn't do this?
Yeah.
Some punk-ass bitches at this place.
You invited a bunch of dicks, Brendan.
Right? It's gotta be a joke, I said. Maybe he exploded. A joke? Seriously, a joke? I was startled by his sudden anger, but as I stared at his face, I could
I was
see
turned
the
on
anger
by it.
turn to fear. Not a
Just like his
joke,
name.
he murmured, shaking his head. The pink circles on his cheeks darkened to red. Pink to red.
What?
Darkened to red.
That's how I know his mood changed.
Look, his
like
cheeks,
a mood ring.
his cheeks are green. He's happy. It's a threat, Rachel. Someone is threatening me. He grabbed the mannequin, gave it a hard push, and watched it swing back and forth. Weird. First, the dead animals in the beds. Then this.
Oh, yeah,
This
that
is a
happened.
definite
Yeah,
warning.
it's gonna happen.
Wait, think about it, I said, grabbing his arm. It could just be a sick joke. Maybe Eric... Eric! He said. He shook his head. No, Eric is a joker, but this isn't his style. Eric is a goof. He's never mean. He raised his eyes to me. No way. Not Eric. We're good friends. He would not do this. What are you going to do, I asked.
I know for sure.
Stop the scavenger hunt? Send everyone home? Like a bitch? He turned and narrowed his eyes at me.
Ruin this for everyone.
No way.
I had to do it as Tim Curry. No way, he said. I planned this party for weeks. I'm not going to let anyone spoil it. But if you think this is a serious threat, I started, I don't care. I'm not stopping the scavenger hunt. I'm not stopping the party. But Brendan, don't you think you should call everyone together? Maybe tell them what happened up here? If it is just a joke, you don't want... If it is a joke, it's a pretty hostile one, he said. Look at this thing. He shoved the mannequin again and sent it swinging. Hanging someone is not a funny joke. If you think it's a real threat, you should definitely phone the police, I said. Seriously.
The first time someone has suggested that, even though a guy fell off a duck and
bashed his head.
Died. Just basically.
Yeah, died.
What? I missed that.
Phone the police? How? The phones are shut off, and cell phones don't work here. He pounded both fists against the mannequin and sent it swinging again. Who would do this? Let's think. I knew he wasn't talking to me.
What high school kid would have the resources to make a life-size sex doll out of him?
Well, he already had the sex doll lying around.
Oh, well.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, exactly. He was talking to himself. Brendan shook his head and began to pace back and forth, avoiding the dummy, which twirled slowly on its rope. My cousins, Morgan and Kenny, have a sick sense of humor. Those two guys are pretty dark. Probably because...
They were raped as children.
Probably because they're fears. He stopped pacing and gazed at the dust-smeared window, obviously thinking hard. But when could they do that, I asked. Your cousins were on the boat with us. Probably because they're fears. Fucking fuck you.
When would they have time? They were in the ballroom until the scavenger hunt began. I never saw them leave. He bit his bottom lip. You're right.
Ow.
Did you see anyone leave the ballroom while we were eating? I opened my mouth to reply, but I stopped when I heard the shrill cry from out in the hall. At first I thought it was the whistle of the bats, but then I realized it was a human cry, a frightened scream. And it was joined by other screams, high cries of horror. Brendan gripped the mannequin as if holding himself up with it. What is that? He murmured. What's going on? And then the two of us tore out of the room and went running down the long hall toward the sound of the screams.
Oh, shit.
Oh, no. Part 3!
Oh, part 3!
Where are we going?
Yeah, we'll do one more, I think.
Okay.
These are going by pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I want to fucking find out what's happening.
I know.
Chapter 17. Is there a killer in the house?
Uh-oh.
Carrie Reacher came bursting into the room. Who's that?
Carrie Valeri.
Carrie Handakis.
Carrie Handakis.
We keep calling her a person that you don't know. Okay, so it doesn't matter.
His long legs.
Oh, wait, it's a guy.
Oh, yeah.
But we keep saying it's a girl.
Okay.
He doesn't have a normal
Her
voice.
legs appeared to collapse when he saw Patty on the floor. He dropped heavily beside her. What's happening? What is this? Carrie's eyes were on Brendan. Brendan. He didn't wait for an answer. He untwisted Patty's arms, then he lifted her gently and pressed her face against his chest.
Patty Mayonnaise.
No, Brendan cried. Don't touch her. We have
Wait.
to leave her for the police.
Patty Mayonnaise dead?
No,
Carrie-
she's a little delicate
She's a little delicate one. She's the one that talks like this.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Carrie ignored him.
she's a delicate
I
flower.
don't think he even heard Brendan.
I feel like that was better writing than this book deserves. This is what you made up.
I'm not done! Carrie screamed, holding Patty's body close. She can't be dead. Behind him, Gina and
Davis.
Delia. Gina and Davis were hugging each other. They both had tears running down their faces. Brendan's cousins hung back at the doorway, hands shoved in their pockets, not speaking, looking very pale and tense. Carrie held on to Patty.
Well, they
Mayonnaise.
are feeders.
Yeah, they are.
Her head was tilted back in his arm. Her eyes remained shut. Who did this? Who killed Patty? He shook her body by the shoulders. Patty, who did this? Who? I will kill him.
You're reading
I swear
too
I'll
much.
kill him. He was shaking her, shrieking at the top of his lungs. Oh, I should have read that louder. Brendan motioned me over. Can you help Carrie? He whispered. Maybe take him downstairs. He's totally freaking. We have to leave everything as we found it. When the police come, his voice trailed off. I'll try, I stammered. I'll bring everyone else downstairs. Brendan whispered, we have to figure out what to do. Why was she twisted like that? Carrie demanded. His eyes locked on
Ew.
Brendan. Oh, twisted her legs like that.
Twisted like a pretzel!
Unbelievable.
A baker killed her!
It's very creative and delicious, but...
She's covered in salt! Her arms are dipped in mustard. Damn it.
Brendan lowered himself beside Carrie. I'm so sorry, he said softly. I'll do everything I can, Carrie, everything. I read too much.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I'll do everything, Carrie. Everything. I should not get mixed up with anyone named Fear! There's a killer in the house! Carrie declared, a killer! Brendan gently lifted Patty's body, Patty's delicate, fragile little 1 pound body, mayonnaise body, from Carrie's arms. He set her down. Then he helped Carrie get to his feet. Go with Rachel, he said. Carrie, can you hear me? Carrie's eyes stared blankly at the green wall. He didn't respond. Carrie, go with Rachel, Brendan repeated. We'll meet you downstairs. I put one arm around Carrie's waist and started to guide him to the door. I expected him to pull back, to fight me, or to demand to stay in the room with Patty. To my surprise, he let me lead him past the other kids and into the hall.
Well, she's used to her abusive boyfriend.
Yeah. I held on to him, and we walked together to the stairway at the end of the hall. Carrie muttered to himself, his eyes glassy, off in the distance, as if he were somewhere else, seeing something I couldn't.
Her thoughts go on too long.
What am I having for breakfast tomorrow?
I just had cornflakes yesterday.
The Fear family, he murmured, turning his face to me. There's a curse on the whole family, Eve and Brendan. Watch your step, I said. I grabbed him as he started to stumble. There's a curse on this house too, Carrie said. You know the story, Rachel. You have to know the story. How the Fear family had a hunting party here on the island like 100 years ago. They had a hunting party and hunted all their servants. You know the story, right?
What?
They hunted the most dangerous game! Well, they made their servants run through the woods, and they hunted them. They shot them all. They killed all their servants just for a game, and they buried them somewhere in the woods.
That's pretty dark.
It's pretty fucked up. Fears.
Pretty dark for R.L. Stine.
Well, it is for teenagers.
Oops. He let out a soft cry. It's true. It has to be true. And now look. Look what happened here. Patty Mayonnaise. Poor Patty Mayonnaise. Because of the curse on the Fear family. That's just a story. It can't be true, I said. I suddenly pictured the mannequin that looked like Brendan swinging on a rope. Was that really a warning to Brendan? And now Patty Mayonnaise was dead. A heavy feeling of dread weighed me down. Brendan has been warned. Patty is dead. Does this mean we are all in danger? I led Carrie into the ballroom. The food table had been cleared. The waiters had left the room. Why are these sentences so short? But the bar table still had drinks. The candles in the chandeliers had all been doused. Pale beams of light from spotlights in the ceiling filled the room with a silvery glow. 2 rows of folding chairs had been set up facing the fireplace.
Every time.
Yep.
Every time you get the
Here's what's happening in every room of the house.
Every time you get the exposition page.
I sat Carrie down in a seat in the back row and brought him a glass of water. He stared at it as if he'd never seen water before.
Silly.
Patty, he murmured. Patty, not you, Patty, not you. I never should have brought you here. He raised his sad, wet eyes to me. It's my fault, isn't it? No, I answered. Of course not. Don't think like that, Carrie. I motioned to the glass. Have some water. Do you want something else? Do you want a beer? Sorry. I do that when I get bored.
I love the idea this guy's like, oh, my girlfriend's dead. And the girl next to him is just like, whatever.
Whatever.
You're being such a downer.
Just have a beer.
Why do you like her anyway? Go on.
Do you think she's pretty?
Prettier than me.
Oh, God.
He didn't answer. He gazed into the glass. A single tear rolled down one cheek. A single tear rolled down one cheek. Just so
Which cheek?
you know. Suddenly, I felt like crying too. A wave of sadness rolled over me.
Why would you already crying, you cold bitch?
There's a dead person. Your friend is dead.
Let me explain. I've been trying so hard to calm Carrie down. I've been forcing down my own feelings of fright and regret.
Oh, no.
Now they came bursting to the surface and my whole body trembled. I'd known Patty mayonnaise since 2nd grade. She was so tiny and cute and adorable and mayonnaisey. Our families were so close.
You could hold her in the palm of your hand. Put her in your
Close.
pocket.
Put her on your sandwich. And,
Just eat her all up.
and now... I lowered myself into the chair next to Carrie. The doors opened and the rest of the party guests stampeded into the ballroom,
Jesus.
followed by Brendan. Brendan mentioned everyone to the rows of chairs. Does that make sense?
Motioned?
Motion.
Oh, Mary. Brendan motioned everyone to the rows of chairs. His face was pale. His normally perfect hair was pointing in all directions. He had the bedhead look going on.
Mm-hmm.
He kept his head
He
down
just had
as he walked to the front. "We have to get out of here," Eric Finn shouted. "Did you call the police?" Spider demanded. "Brendan, did you call 911?"
That's just
April
a spider
repeated.
in the corner.
Yeah.
Did you call the police? Did you call the police?
This takes place in the Charlotte's Web universe.
Brendan shrugged. He pulled his phone from his pocket and waved it. "I can't. No bars, remember? There's no service on this island, and all the landlines have been shut off for the winter."
Wait, why does that make any sense?
Landlines
Anywhere
don't
else?
get shut off.
Like, are they
For the winter.
conserving
For the
power
winter.
They
in the
explained
winter?
it in the book.
They cut
For the
they cut the
winter.
landlines and removed them so they wouldn't freeze.
No one in the winter
For the
ever has
winter.
emergencies.
Yeah, no.
Yes. No. That's how
For the winter.
That's what it says in the book.
There's the
That's
landlines
canon.
are there, but someone just went chunk.
It's only for the
Turned
winter.
them off
though.
for the
It's only-
winter,
It's
for the
only,
winter.
It's only December
Yeah.
through February.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't turn them back on.
So we can't call anyone? We can't report the murder? April asked. I've only read a page.
Yay! The word murder sent a gasp through the crowd. It was as if saying it made it even more real and more horrible. Once again, I pictured Patty Mayonnaise's body all twisted up like a pretzel on the floor covered in salt and dipped in mustard in that bedroom. And I remembered the handwritten note. Wait, did we read this already? And I remembered the handwritten note, Twister anyone?
What?
Was there a note that said Twister anyone?
No, it said Hangman.
Yeah.
Game of
Yeah.
Hangman.
Wait, is this the first time she's mentioning
Twister
the note?
anyone?
I don't know, okay.
So this is obviously
Rachel,
it's a
you
killer-
are behind on your exposition.
Yeah.
killer of 90s games.
Yeah. Someone is playing games, I
Well,
thought.
what other games do you think they'll
Deadly
do?
games, Monopoly. Like someone
Girl
gets
talk?
Clue.
talk clue. Get a clue.
Mall Madness.
Yes.
Guess who?
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Connect 4.
Ah, yeah. We can't just sit here, Spider shouted. Okay. We can't just sit here, Spider shouted. There's a killer in the house.
Perfection.
Could it be one of us? Brendan's cousin Kenny asked. Don't be stupid, Eric snapped. We're not killers. I'm not stupid, Kenny replied. He jumped to his feet. Don't call me stupid. Eric raised both hands as if in surrender. Sorry, I didn't mean it. Oh, wait, no, wait. Eric raised both hands as if in surrender. Sorry, I didn't mean it. You're not stupid. Kenny glared at him, then lowered himself to a chair. Morgan turned to Eric. Kenny has a short fuse, he said.
Who is Morgan?
I can't remember. I can't
don't remember that.
I can't believe
Oh, is it
I remember
Morgan
these.
Freeman?
No, Morgan.
Oh.
Morgan is what his cousin. He's got two cousins, Morgan and Kenny. Morgan's
Oh.
like a preppy, and Kenny's retarded.
Okay.
Kenny has a short fuse. He said. Eric stared back at him. Was that supposed to be a warning? Eric is a big, dumb, like surfer dude.
Okay.
Who is constantly pulling girls onto his lap and talking
Yeah,
about his
he's
boner.
got a real
He's
rapey
real rapey, like
Yeah.
real rapey.
Put on my rape shoes.
No, Morgan said. I was just saying. Who would kill Patty? Carrie asked. Who? He buried his head in his hands. Someone strung up a dummy of me, Brendan told everyone. It was hanging in one of the empty rooms.
No one cares about that.
Swing-
You're not actually dead.
Swinging from the ceiling, wearing my clothes, with a note that said something about wanting to play hangman.
Sick, Delia muttered. She was hunched in her chair, twisting a strand of her white blonde hair tensely. I thought the hanging dummy was some kind of warning, Brendan said. But then... He didn't finish his thought. Hangman and Twister, Delia said. Someone is totally sick. Someone is definitely playing games with us, Gina Davis said. Only... Her voice broke. Murder isn't a game. We have to get to the boat now, Eric said. We have to get out of here, Brendan. Yes, let's go. Is the boat ready? We have to get off this island. 3 random people said. I have no idea who they are. Brendan waved both hands to quiet everyone. The boat is ready, but the pilot, Brandy,
He's dead.
He'll be okay, but he's out of commission. He's down. He can't do it. We don't have anyone to pilot the boat.
What? Is he shit-faced?
No,
He
tripped and fell and hit
Yeah.
his head on the dock, and
And
there's
there's,
like
like,
blood
blood
everywhere.
Oh.
But then when Rachel was walking around the house, she heard a guy like screaming and moaning in a room or something.
Oh yeah, he's like trapped in a room, and
Yeah.
the two like
yeah,
waiters.
was that supposed to be him or is that
I think it was supposed
someone
to be
else?
him, because she was like, I heard Randy screaming, and Brenda was just
Yeah.
like, he's fine.
Okay. Yeah. It's just what healing sounds like.
Yeah.
You said you sent for
From a heroin
someone.
overdose.
Yeah. Healing sounds like help.
Help! I'm dying.
Someone's keeping me captive.
You said you sent for someone, Spider asked. Gina said, "We're not totally stranded here, are we?"
Okay, when we say with spider, can you just add a spider?
A spider.
Just a spider asked.
I'm gonna go through the book and just make corrections.
A little A.
Can anyone here handle the yacht? Eric said. That's his nickname for his penis.
Oh!
One of the workers in a speedboat back to town, Brendan said. My family has another pilot we use in the summer. Okay, there's only like 13 of them. Fucking cram them in the speedboat.
Yeah, seriously.
Make a couple trips.
Go outside, shoot a flare. Like, Jesus Christ.
I told the worker to find him and bring him back. But that could be hours, April protested. What if he doesn't find the pilot? You mean we're trapped?
Alright, bring us home, Mary.
Brendan waved both hands. Brendan.
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 I don't like that. Brendan waved both hands. Calm down, everyone. I'm sure the new boat pilot is on his way. As soon as he gets here, a spider jumped to his feet.
It's so much better already.
Let's go now. We can figure out how to pilot the boat. How hard can it be? You turn on the engine and steer it to town. Before anyone could move, the lights flickered, then went out.
Oh, fuck.
I blinked. I stared into the glare of light that lingered. It faded. The darkness was so deep.
Hey.
I couldn't see Carrie sitting next to me. Kids screamed. Period. That's a thing. I held my breath, thinking maybe
He likes
lights
his
would flash.
sentences short.
Yeah.
That's silly. I held my breath, thinking breath.
Breath?
You held your breasts?
Thinking lights maybe would flash back on. Cries of panic rang out all around me. Brendan, I can't see you. Who turned off the lights? It was the killer. Did someone just come in the room? Can't anyone turn them back on? Did someone cut the electricity? Brendan, help us! I jumped to my feet. I was too frightened just to sit there. My legs felt shaky. I forced myself to move to get away from the chairs. But someone grabbed my arm and started to pull me back. Carrie! I screamed. Carrie? Is that you? Or is it the killer?
Bum, 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 bum.